Over the past year, I've been using the Sony A7RV and it's been good up until this morning when I ran into a very interesting problem. Let me show you. So at this point, if you couldn't figure out what's happening with my camera, let me explain it to you. My A7RV is essentially turning on, then almost immediately turning itself off. Then it will turn itself back on, then off, on, off, over and over again for about a minute until the screen goes black. And at that point, I would have to remove the battery to essentially start the process all over again. This type of situation has come to be known as a boot loop because the device essentially is in a loop of booting itself up. At this point, I've done my research on this issue, and obviously it's not a super wide, massive issue where a bunch of people are having this problem, but there does seem to be a group of Sony users, no matter the model really. I've seen FX3s having this issue, Sony A7S3, A7 III, A7R5, so a wide variety of bodies are having this issue. Although it's not widespread, it does seem to be a prominent issue, as you can see through various YouTube videos and Reddit posts and various internet articles. Also, from what I've seen, there seems to be a wide array of possible solutions from, turning your camera on and spamming the play button, spamming the menu button, pressing and holding the play button, taking your memory card out, formatting it, plugging it back in, doing stuff with the batteries, this and that. There seems to be like I said, a wide variety of possible solutions. Unfortunately, I've tried all these various combinations of buttons and doing this and that, and for me, nothing worked. So in my situation, realistically, there wasn't really any way to fix this other than sending it in to Sony for repair. So I looked up online, contacted Sony, and I was able to set up a repair order pretty much within like 20 minutes, less than that. They took my information, the serial number, this and that, and now they sent me a shipping label and I'm gonna send this body off for repair. Now, something that I want you to take away from my call with Sony is that they kept on asking, hey, do you have the original receipt? Do you know when you purchased this camera? And from me, that basically tells me that they want to know if you purchased your camera from an authorized dealer and if you're within the 1-year warranty time period. I personally had troubles with finding the original receipt for this thing because I purchased my camera through various accounts and I was working under various companies that I bought through their accounts, so I had a hard time finding where I bought this camera from. But luckily, after a couple minutes with Sony, having them on hold while I was looking through everything, I was able to find the original receipt, which had the serial number for this camera on it, and it actually said that I purchased the camera on July 28th. Today is July 3rd, so I'm within days of running out of the 1-year warranty on this camera. So just keep that in mind. Hopefully you are within 1 year of your warranty, and really hopefully that you purchase your camera through an authorized dealer, because if your camera is gray market, that might be an issue with Sony. But for right now, we're going to cut this video short. I'm going to package and ship this camera off to Sony. They estimate that it should be done within 5 to 10 business days, so about 2 weeks, and we'll continue back up when I get my camera back. All right, we are back, and that does mean that the A7RV is back in my possession and it is now fully functional. I've scanned the invoice for the repair, and let's just go over that and see what happened. So here is a service order form that I've received with my return shipment. For this, we're just gonna work from top to bottom and go over everything that's kind of important. First off, let's look at the dates. The repair center received my camera on 7/9 and they shipped it back 7/16. This would make it 5 business days or a full calendar week for the repair. Moving down, we see the repair location. As you can see, and at least in my situation, Sony has contracted out the repair to Precision Camera in Connecticut. I've left our contact info here in case you want to contact them for a repair on a similar service. Then right under that, we have the technical findings and determination. This is essentially the repair center writing down what they see is the problem. Obviously, my camera is stuck in a boot loop, as I previously mentioned, and the suggested remedy is to replace the side comp L. Then when we move down to this repaired section, we see that they did replace that side comp L, and that is essentially the main motherboard, and that has resolved the boot looping issue. So in my situation, it seems like the whole motherboard was fried and had to be completely replaced. Then the service center also replaced the optical filter block due to unremovable spots on the filter. This one I'm not completely sure what it is, but I'm pretty sure it's some sort of filter on the sensor. Moving down to additional services, we see that they also performed an autofocus test and check, calibration, and alignment. They also performed a complete body cleaning internally and externally, including the image sensor. Lastly, they updated the firmware on the camera body to the most current version. I had no idea that they were going to perform these additional services, so I'm happy about it. Finally, we move down to the bottom of the page where we see the cost for this service, which my repair was in warranty, so everything was covered. I paid nothing. So overall, I would say that my experience with the Sony warranty repair program was great. I mean, it's very quick considering that Sony paid for 2 days express to and from their shop, and then the whole service really only took like about a week. So I would say that overall I'm happy, but really I say that because I happen to be within the warranty and everything was covered for free. As I mentioned earlier, when I started this process and when I was on the phone call with Sony, they gave me the impression that they really wanted to know when I bought my camera and from where. Obviously, if it's within the warranty period and if it was from an authorized seller. Luckily, everything was in my favor, but if you happen to have bought a gray market camera or a camera that just happens to be extended past the warranty period, I don't know what to tell you because Sony didn't disclose any pricing for me if, those things applied in my situation. So, the situation could have been a lot different because I just have no idea. This could have been a very costly repair considering that they had to change out essentially the motherboard on this thing. I would say that I would have been a bit upset had this camera had been, bought from an authorized seller and just happens to be out of warranty, a couple days later than when I reported it, and I had to pay to do the repairs. Then I would have been upset because obviously this was a defect from Sony. The warranty period does not really matter considering that this is something that you're paying $3,500 for this camera body or whatever it is, and it breaks a year and a couple days later, maybe 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line, that would have been different, but a year and some change, I don't know. But again, I'm just really happy that it worked out for me and my situation. Obviously, no guarantees for you, but I can say that I had a good experience with Sony warranty repairs, so you can give it a shot and reach out to them. And I think that's gonna be it for this video. Sorry, I couldn't really give you an answer on how to fix your camera aside from sending it into Sony to have them repair, but it is what it is. This is kind of like the last resort, what you kind of have to do aside from buying a brand new camera. So I hope this video has helped you out. If it did, I'd really appreciate it if you can give the video a thumbs up, share it around, comment down below with any thoughts or questions that you may have. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more content. And if you want to further support my work, consider hitting the join button down below to become a member of this channel or become a patron on Patreon. Thanks a lot for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.